Peter, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Sorry to be a little late.
That's all right, Peter. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. No problem. Let's start with Ron Washington, who I don't know if it's a preemptive strike, who now says he fears for his job, hasn't heard from anybody upstairs, and now admits the way his team's playing, he's afraid he's going to get a weird thing to say. Your team falls out of the pennant race by a game or is about to fall out of the lead for the first time all season, and you're in the midst of a 12 out of 14 losses, 7 straight, and you say you fear for your job. I mean, that's a weird thing.
It's a very weird thing. I mean, there's been a lot of speculation. John Daniels has said, he said yesterday, that it really hasn't come up, and he's not going to get fired. But because John is right now saying, hey, look, I'm the one who made the Garza deal. I traded away the best prospect in the organization, A.J. Edwards, to get Garza, who has not pitched well for them, or 5.76 ERA. And, you know, I mean, they've never made up for losing Mike Napoli and Hamilton. I mean, you know, when you don't get any production out of first base, left field, DH, and you're 7th or 9th in the league in every major offensive category, and you're last in the league in runs in the month of September, it's not just Ron Washington. So I don't think he will get fired. I really don't. But I can understand the insecurities. I mean, that's what managers live with. I think that I think it's more likely Eric Wedge gets the axe in Seattle because they've been awful. But you just don't. At this time of year, when teams aren't playing well, managers always end up taking heat. And for some reason, owners often think, oh, if I make a managerial change, it'll change everything, rather than having the overview of what an organization really needs to do.
I tell you, it's interesting. You have a couple teams that would have been the favorites a couple of weeks ago, the Dodgers and the Tigers. Dodgers have a lot of injuries, trying to get everybody healthy, and he's got an outfield situation where he's going to have a logjam in the playoffs. Somebody's got to sit. And then you have Verlander not hurt, but off his game, and you have Cabrera, who hasn't hit a homer this month and is nursing that groin. I'm surprised he's playing as much as he is, Cabrera. You know that?
I think they're going to have to rest him. I think that's why the Tigers won't be able to catch the Red Sox for the best record, because it's just they're going to have to rest him and see what happens. Verlander threw really well in his last start. He told me last week that he thought he finally was finding his delivery. So, yeah, he might put on a really good month and run through the playoffs. But I agree. And the Dodger thing is really weird. I mean, Don Mattingly's gone through a lot there because that's a weird team. I mean, they really don't know what to make of Kemp, whether his ankle's going to be all right. I mean, he hasn't played much since May. And they really don't know. I mean, if he comes back.
How do you keep Kemp out of that outfield, though? I mean, look to me, you got Puig, you got Crawford, you got Kemp, you got Ethier. I would think Ethia's got to be the odd man out. You got to play Kemp.
Well, you got to see if Kemp can play. I mean, yesterday he said he couldn't play because of the ankle, and you don't know whether that's going to get healthy. And you never know whether, you know, it's a back, it's a knee, it's hamstring. You don't know about how much Crawford's going to play. Plus, Carl Crawford cannot hit a left-handed pitcher. I mean, he's like Shoe against left-handed pitchers. So, you know, that's. I wouldn't count on Carl a whole lot in the postseason.
I tell you, I think the Red Sox are going to be really tough. I mean, I know I've seen a lot of them lately, and they've beat the heck out of the Yankees. But the way Yuri Hara's pitching, the way some of your starters are pitching, and the way top to bottom you're getting great at bats throughout the entire lineup, I think the Red Sox just could be on one of those crazy rolls this year. I think they look like they're going to be very tough to deal with.
Well, sitting behind home plate on Saturday, I mean, to me, that was the best John Lester's looked at about 3 or 4 years. And he's been building up. Now he's back up from 93, 94 with a lot of cutters to 96, 97. His ability to throw his fastball on the inside part of the plate to left-handers and right-handers Saturday was so impressive. Change-ups that he got A-Rod all messed up on. I mean, that was he's been really good. Buchholz is pitching well now, and Petey last week was convinced by Pedro Martinez to drop his arm slot back to where it was when he was a Cy Young Award winner. And he told me he feels like it's 2009 all over again. He thinks he's going to have a huge month of October. So,
wow. And how about Yuri Hara? Yuri Hara has become a sensation. The guy never gives up. No one ever gets on base against him.
It is amazing. I mean, he does have the best strikeout walk ratio in the history of the game. But I mean, Ryan Rothschild said, I've never seen anybody else who went through 3 different splits. And I asked John Farrell about it. He said, actually, he throws 4 different splits. I mean, and he throws everything for strikes, and he throws 87-mile-an-hour fastballs the guy's swinging this at. But you mentioned the thing about their offensive patience. They have seen more than 1,000 more pitches than any other team in baseball.
Yeah, they wear you out. They do. They wear you out. They make you wait. I mean, Nova's been pitching great, but he couldn't pitch well to the Red Sox. They just sit on every pitch. They wait him out. They make him bring it into the strike zone. I mean, they do a great job. They really do.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, last year after Ortiz got hurt on the 17th of July, their team had a .295 on-base percentage. So, I mean, it's a complete turnaround from last year. I mean, part of it is, I think, the mindset of the team this year as opposed to last year. But, you know, they added some guys who are really good grinding at bat types. And Pedroia's healthy. And the biggest thing is, you know, this was the year that Daniel Nava finally became an everyday player. And he turns out he's the biggest grinder in the whole lineup.